And it's quite interesting now because I'm seeing these politicians in their nice beehive offices, which are a little step up from the home library and everything. But he joins us as he has, and I want to thank him for this, has all year made himself available to us, the Deputy Prime Minister, Leader of New Zealand First, Winston Peters. Winston, season's greetings to you. Nice to have you with us again.
Good morning, and all the very best to you and your organisation, all your viewers, all your critics and all your commentators for the Christmas and New Year period.
All right. Look, I want to talk on a news thing at the moment. The Prime Minister went to Australia yesterday for a meeting with Prime Minister Albanese. I predicted actually in a cross with Sky News in Australia yesterday that part of that discussion would be a reframing, particularly of our defence and security arrangements with people hitherto I think we would have called our allies or our fellow travellers in this part of the world. And indeed it does seem, and as Foreign Minister you must be aware of this, that we are looking to have a more substantive or real security relationship with our closest neighbour?
Well, if you're talking about AUKUS and the Pillar 2 comment,
yeah,
you've got to remember that Hipkins, when he was asked about 5-6 weeks ago, when Chris Hipkins was asked about that, he did not rule out the need to be talking about Pillar 2 or the AUKUS arrangement.
Yeah. Are we going to, in foreign policy terms, have a less, and I hate to use the word because it's probably overused indeed by you and I, a less woke approach to foreign affairs, a more traditional, we know who our friends are and have been for a long time approach, and we're going to stay their friends and show that we're their friends?
Well, I presume you're talking about dancing around on the pinhead, talking about your independent foreign policy.
Yeah.
And I made a speech recently to the diplomatic corps in this country and said, look, we've all got an independent foreign policy. We're all working as hard as we can for our own country, independently of anybody else's interests. So let's put that aside and stop this sort of conversation that sounds great, it sounds virtuous, but it's actually becoming slightly meaningless. We should be talking about the things we do agree with, we do support, the rule of law internationally, democracy and freedom, helping out our neighbour, being a good and responsible neighbour for a better world. Now, that might sound sort of far-flung and sort of ambitious, but it's basically what people want. And in that context, you're quite right. It's become, well, it wasn't woke, because woke really means I'm somebody that just woke up yesterday and knows more about the world and you've got a greater conscience than you have. It's not woke. It's outrun its 1985 flavour, since by accident we got into this rift with Australia and, did I say, the United States. We started out being anti-nuclear weaponry, and in a quick, foul sort of circus of chaos in politics, the Labour Party fell down the trap of anti-nuclear power, so to speak. And here we are, all around the world, in the time of crisis for energy, desperate in many countries for the use of nuclear power. You see what I mean?
Well, okay, I just want to pursue this a little more. Mr. Peters, are you suggesting we might modify our stance on nuclear power and the ban on nuclear-powered vessels in New Zealand ports or territorial waters?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, though, that New Zealanders hop onto aeroplanes in the main, travel overseas to nuclear-powered energy places, live there happily, have no problem. They don't boycott the place, but they come back and they want this. And we can afford this stance because we've got a serious energy supply, maybe hydro. We should be doing far more with thermal. We could do far more with solar. But other countries haven't got that luxury. And sometimes they must find us a bit pretentious because they haven't got the luxury and we have.
All right. I want to talk more widely about the year in politics, and I picked you as, well, I think the New Zealand First Party and you are the political success story of the year. And I know you're going to tell me you're not surprised. You knew you were going to be back. But not just in the campaign and getting back in, Winston. It seems to me that this coalition arrangement that has come to is delivering very quickly. We had Erica Stanford on today, and the 3 points of the 49 points She says, OK, cell phones out of schools, change to the curriculum, and I'm not sure what the other one was. But bang, bang, bang. This government, collectively, this coalition, has wasted no time in actually implementing changes that one or t'other of the parties has campaigned on. It's quite remarkable to see elected politicians doing what they said they would.
Yeah, not a surprise. I heard Grant Robinson on Morning Report with this soft interview this morning, and I thought, I do not believe what I'm hearing. Sycophantic, servile, menial, to the extreme. And here's a guy that's just failed and has got a Minister of Finance now in the House yesterday saying, look, I have found $7.5 billion of savings, and he was there being a commentator and expert on it. When will the mainstream media get it that they have massively lost, so to speak? And so when you say this government's actually achieving, I'm pleased to say it actually is, because there is the feeling we didn't get there a day too soon or a moment too soon. Things are seriously going wrong, and they could still go a lot wrong, more wrong, before we get them right.
Okay.
The picture up in 2024 doesn't look great, because, look, one more time, the IMF doing this forecast for next year said that New Zealand's going to be on the GDP, that's growth per capita rate, we're going to be at 159, not 1 or 50, but 159.
Your campaign horse, what's he up to?
Oh, no, well, that horse is at Pukekohe. He might be up there.
Yeah.
And if he is, it would be great. But this is a couple that's got these horses at Pukekohe, and they come up at Christmas time. You could be quite right. But first thing I'm going to do is make sure that it doesn't get startled or shy and starts bucking up and down the beach in front of everybody. And you know how it'll be. They'll have the cameras out and photographing it, and I'll be all over the TV having fallen off the darn thing. So my job is to make sure I get the right horse, and then it's a very happy time. I still love
it. Winston, your detractors, those who say this is the most racist government ever, I mean, that's politics. It's bumpy. What message do you have for New Zealanders as we head into Christmas after a very tumultuous year?
Well, I would say stop talking bulldust. In this cabinet are 7 people with Maori extraction and a lady with a background in South Korea. Just like that. That's huge numbers. More than any other cabinet before that. But they can't actually salute people who got there all on their own. Not in Maori seats, not in privileged Maori wards, all on their own against all competition everywhere else. And that's the way forward. It's not this sort of paternalism that says, look, you need a hand up from me to be able to be equal to me. That's rotten, rancid racism, and they don't get it.